Hey, World Entertainment, and Ernie Hudson has been doing the rounds, and he's speaking now about what he hopes for Winston Zeddemore in the next Ghostbusters movies. He's also talking about the idea of branching the likes of Winston and a new team off in a spin-off away from the main storylines, which could be interesting. But let's have a look at this anyway. So it's saying, original Ghostbusters star Ernie Hudson isn't ready to hang up his proton pack just yet, expressing his eagerness to take on a larger role in the franchise in a potential sequel to Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Speaking with Screen Rant at the WGA Awards, Hudson acknowledged that while the studio's current focus is on the Spangler family, he hopes to see Winston become more hands-on in the future installments, sharing, "I think the studio is focused on the family, which is a good thing, but I also would like to see Winston take a team and spin off in other directions. That would be a lot of fun. They talk about retirement, but I don't want him to just be that guy to sit in the office. I'd love to see him, like in the original films, really getting down and dirty and going at it." Hudson's idea of a spin-off isn't new. Last year, while promoting the digital release of Frozen Empire with comicbook.com, he pitched a sequel concept that would dive deeper into the ghost world, exploring how spectral entities influence human emotions and behavior, drawing parallels to the mood slime from Ghostbusters 2. Hudson envisioned Winston's paranormal research facility investigating and combating these supernatural influences, freeing entire communities from unseen spectral manipulation. This is what he said about that idea. It kind of happens in Frozen Empire. He has his research center. He's trying to figure out what's this all about. Who are these ghosts? Do we bust them all the same? Do all the ghosts deserve to be trapped? Are we here to help them transition? How do they impact our lives? So suddenly, you start to see a whole section of the city start to get violent. Maybe they're being influenced. We're treating people from a physical standpoint. Maybe there's something else going on, supernatural, that's influencing. So it's not just what happens in the ghost world, but how the ghost world is throwing off the physical world. We did a little bit of it in the second movie with the slime, where suddenly the whole town was out of control. So while no sequel has been officially greenlit, Frozen Empire director Gil Keenan hinted that in addition to the upcoming Netflix series, multiple Ghostbuster projects are in development. In an interview with the Direct, when asked about Ghostbusters returning to the big screen, Keenan affirmed the answer is yes, adding that both he and Jason Reitman take the responsibility and the joy of being the keepers of the flame of Ghostbusters very seriously. So you're hearing all the different type of ideas that Ernie Hudson's thrown out there. I like that idea of him and the other team, like from the research center, going into kind of the spiritual world to discover new entities and stuff and see that they're influencing human emotion and stuff like that. That's actually quite an interesting idea. Of course, would you want to see it without the main group there as well? Well, if it's him, and I suppose you could bring Ray in with him as opposed to having him there with the Spangler family, good work, could be really interesting. Now, it sounds also a small bit like kind of the idea of what the game was, the video game, where it was the Ghostbusters Go to Hell. Just from the point of view of going into the ghost world, because that's what that game did. That could work. That really could work, where you finding all these new big bads and stuff like that. As much as I think the villain for Frozen Empire was very interesting, it did kind of suck that he was so easily defeated. It could have been much more of a threat if not just did they beat him in the end, but they don't beat him well, if you know what I mean. And they don't actually entrap him that he does escape, to leave him out there for future installments as well, because he was a massive threat. Or there's, do you bring back the likes of Vigo or something? I don't know. But if they could go into different aspect. Now, we know Sony is looking to do spin-offs. They don't just want to focus on the main story, that they do want to do spin-offs. You put Winston as the head of that as well, yeah, I'm all in for that. Sounds cool. And if you do the idea of get Winston and Ray and then some new team, and they end up getting dragged down into like the underworld of the ghost world, that could be really interesting. It really could, and you could visit some kind of familiar things, familiar entities, even bring in the slime again. We'll have to wait and see. This Netflix thing, I think it's supposed to come out this year. It's an animated project as well. It's not live action, I'm pretty sure. If I remember, like, I've done videos on it, but I can't remember. It's been a while actually since we've heard anything about that, but I'm pretty sure it's an animated project. But I think Ernie Hudson is actually voicing Winston in that as well. I think. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Either way, I like the ideas that he's floating about, and I would like to see Winston get back in there again. Yeah, like there was more of him, of course, in the last movie, him and Ray. But I get what he means by he doesn't just want to be the guy who brings people in and, oh, look at all this stuff we have. He wants to be the guy who go, look what we have. Now we're going to take it and go and use it. He wants to be back in the suit and whatnot. So I'm definitely interested. So we'll see what happens. We'll see when we get the next announcement for the next Ghostbusters movies, what they'll be, whether it's a direct sequel to Frozen Empire or whether it'll be a spin-off at this stage. We'll wait and see. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.